More people are coming into Omaha for a more affordable life. And in 2015, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms are making a new change that could affect gun owners' pockets. I'm Benjamin Hausch.
And I'm Vandra Caldwell. Also, you can expect to see how two brothers are producing their own biofuels. Those stories and more right here on the Omaha News.
This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
The city of Omaha is no stranger to being on best cities lists. It is ranked in the top 10 on lists such as the best places to live, best places to raise a family, and up-and-coming music cities. More recently, however, it is known for its affordability. Kenneth Vella reports on what that means to future Omaha residents.
In recent years, the city of Omaha has been put on the map by ranking high on numerous best cities lists. In 2014, Omaha ranked third of the most affordable big cities according to Kiplinger.com. More recently, it was ranked 6th in Go Banking Rate's Best Cities to Live and Save Money list. By the same list, the majority of the worst cities to save are in the state of California, something Karina Gomez has experience with.
I used to live in Montebello, California.
About a year ago, Gomez and her mom started struggling to live in California, which caused them to pack up and move across the country to Omaha, Nebraska.
We were just getting paid the minimum, and our rent was like $1,000 something, and me and my mom couldn't really pay it anymore. So we just decided that we should try something new and try and come over here instead.
Gomez isn't the only one that moved from an expensive city to a more affordable one like Omaha. Shannon McClure says that many people move to this city for an easier life.
We do see a lot of migration in and out of the city, a lot that is driven by the corporations that are headquartered here and do business in Greater Omaha. So that drives a lot of migration into the city from other larger markets.
Although that means the population could potentially increase, McClure says growth is a good thing for Omaha.
We really benefit a lot from that in lots of ways. I think it brings a lot of new ideas into the market and just enriches our community as a whole.
For the Omaha News, I'm Kenneth Vella.
To see a detailed list of Omaha's rankings and other information on the city, visit bestplaces.net and search for Omaha. An Omaha youth was injured in a car pedestrian accident last night. Two teenagers were crossing Center Street near 46th when 15-year-old Ethan Simowell was struck by a green 1997 Jeep Cherokee. Police say the teenagers did not use a crosswalk. Simowell was admitted to the Creighton University Medical Center's emergency room with serious abdominal injuries.
A possible standards change from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms has shooters scrambling to purchase ammunition. Cody Tromler takes aim at how that can affect their wallets.
The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms is looking to change their regulations for 2015.
No, I think it'll have an impact.
This change would classify a popular bullet as an armor-piercing round. Industry professionals like Bob Whalen are worried about the economic repercussions of a possible ban.
Because the market's going to be short some ammo. I mean, folks are using that, and it was economical. It was plentiful.
The round in question, the M855, also known as the green tip, sells over 1 billion rounds annually.
So if it goes up 8 cents a round or 20 cents a round, it adds up quickly.
The average cost of the green tip is 34 cents per round, whereas the nearest comparable ammunition is 53 cents per round. While the increase may seem minimal, recreational shooters are worried that the price increase may affect their favorite hobby. Shooters like Gerald Hemmingson.
Much better.
As much as we shoot, it adds up over time. So a modest increase in the price of ammunition would affect us financially.
And with how quickly one can go through ammunition, it's no surprise.
Maybe 100. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Depends on what weapons we bring and what we're shooting.
Until the ATF makes their decision, shooters will use whatever bullets they can. For the Omaha News, I'm Cody Tromler.
For more information about ammunition regulation, go to atf.gov. Last night around 11 p.m., officers responded to a robbery at the BP gas station located on 132nd Street and West Maple Road. Authorities are investigating the robbery and have not made any arrests yet. An Omaha man is the city's latest homicide victim. Police responded to a call at 5422 South 17th Street yesterday. They found 44-year-old Corey Hudson with a gunshot wound. He was taken to Creighton University Medical Center's emergency room where he was pronounced dead. Anyone with information about the murder should contact the OPD Homicide Unit or the Crime Stoppers hotline at 402-444-STOP. Your information could lead to a $25,000 reward.
The next time you're looking at a fish fry, just imagine the cooking oil used could eventually end up in a gas tank. Blake Higginbotham did, and he found the Omaha Biofuels Co-op that partners with local restaurants and a church fish fry to convert used vegetable oil into fuel.
The Omaha Biofuels Cooperative has been around for 6.5 years, and although they're currently expanding, they had to start from the bottom.
We literally did start in my mom's garage.
The cooperative was founded by twin brothers Eric and Scott Williams with the mission to produce, use, and promote biofuels.
The nonprofit organization is member-owned and operated, meaning members are the owners, workers, and customers. Scott Williams, managing director and co-founder of the Omaha Biofuels Co-op, said the purpose is to have equipment shared by a collective group to lower cost and increase efficiency and availability.
We generate value in our community by creating clean burning, renewable, locally produced, and carbon neutral biofuels, which can be used in cars, trucks, vans, trains, generators, and any diesel engine application.
The co-op collects used cooking oil from 15 local restaurant partners, including the Grey Plume, who is the country's most sustainable restaurant in 2014. The oil is then converted into fuel, which can be used for most diesel engines, and powers the passenger train of Omaha's very own Henry Doorly Zoo.
They can blend the cooking oil into the diesel fuel that's used to fire the external combustion steam engine that goes around the zoo.
Matt Sutton volunteers for the co-op with his girlfriend Callie Johnson, who earned a degree in biotechnology from UNO. Sutton said it was a great way to gain experience and apply what she's learned in the field.
He invited us to come tour, he invited us to come start volunteering, and I figured it would be a good practical use of her knowledge.
For the Omaha News, I'm Blake Higginbotham.
Omaha Biofuels Co-op is always looking for new members, restaurants, volunteers, and other partners who would like to improve sustainability and break the dependency on fossil fuels. Visit omahabiofuelscoop.org or call 402-915-FUEL.
Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at how the UNO campus is taking steps to becoming more diverse with its student body.
Also, UNO's international students shared pride in their culture through traditional songs and dances. All this and more after the break.
PBS is the place you should go first.
There are no advertisers to be satisfied, only an audience to be satisfied.
We take our responsibility as journalists very seriously. We are constantly thinking about our viewers and what they care about.
We want to let you know what the information is, and then you decide what you want to think.
At the NewsHour, we are after the facts and only the facts.
You've always known you were a leader, someone who works hard to achieve your goals. You can see it. You can see your success in front of you. You pursue a college education for the old-fashioned reasons, to learn, to make yourself more valuable, to succeed. You need a place that celebrates your ambition and positions you alongside visionary people just like you. You, my friend, belong here, the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
UNO TV invites you to take a journey around the world, to lush jungles with endangered species, to exotic lands and different cultures, to lost cities beneath the sands. Travel through time to see ancient secrets on the other side of the world, the growth of the American West, or the start of Nebraska's largest city. Or just explore our state, find out about Nebraska in World War II, learn how Omaha has grown since, discover the effort to renovate its green spaces, the history of one of its most impressive buildings, or look at its internationally recognized university. For over 20 years, UNO-TV has produced award-winning documentaries that explore, educate, and enlighten. To find out more, call 402-554-2516 or visit unotv.unomaha.edu.
You are watching the Omaha News.
After a gleefully racist video of the University of Oklahoma's Sigma Alpha Epsilon chapter was released, multicultural organizations at UNO's campus have put the diversity of its campus in question. Eugene Tyler joins us from the newsroom to see how UNO hopes to become more diverse.
Thanks, Ben. Even with over a dozen multicultural organizations at UNO, some students feel the university could do so much more to bring people together. Even with over a dozen student-specific organizations, some UNO students feel their campus isn't diverse enough.
The identities on campus are heavily segregated.
Student government's only presidential candidate, Brock Lewis, hopes to do things to change this perception.
Like highlighting more of our events that are outside of the normal that we usually typically recognize, to show the small organizations or like multicultural organizations. I'd like to see those get highlighted more within the university and actually show what type of students we have on campus.
Although Lewis claims he wants to highlight events outside of the normal, some organizations feel distant.
He knows nothing of anything, in my opinion, that has to do with diversifying this campus.
Representatives for the Malcolm X Foundation, Gender and Sexual Orientation, and Beta Sigma Delta all say the university could do so much more to bring people together.
There needs to be an aggressive reach to the community. You know, we have this huge community engagement center.
Student government, gender and sexual orientation, and other organizations are in the same space, yet lack communication.
He already had the time to do it, but he hasn't done it. I have no idea who he is, and he says he's reached out to people. He hasn't reached out to me, and I'm like the director of this agency.
For any information regarding diversity on UNO's campus, contact the Office of Equity, Access, and Diversity at 402-554-3490. Thanks, Ben. Back to you.
More than 80 students will be competing in the Midwest Spelling Bee this Saturday. The winners of the county and district spelling bees will compete. The student who wins this weekend will get to travel to Washington, D.C. in May to compete against the nation's best spellers in the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
For many international students, being able to showcase their country and culture through traditional dances, music, and costume brings them a sense of pride and being welcomed. When UNO's international students get together to share their culture,
it's an awesome way to represent who I am.
The music, colors, and costumes swirl into an exotic evening of pride and friendship.
There's so many international students that represent so many different countries here, and I think it's an awesome way to showcase things that people don't even know about your culture.
And a way for international students to help the local students better understand the different cultures.
In America, where there's so many different cultures coming together, you see, someone with brown skin and you automatically think Indian, when it could associate Pakistan or Bangladesh. So I think it's nice to be able to explain those type of cultures and let people know that, hey, we're different and this is what we represent.
Better yet, it gives international students the feeling of being welcome.
It's important to have this event so they know that, it's okay to talk about your culture here, and we want to learn about your culture. Just like you're here to learn the American culture, they're showing their culture off as well, and we're learning from their cultures.
For many international students, being able to showcase their country and culture brings a sense of pride and the feeling of being closer to home.
There's people here, if you show that you support another culture and that you support where they're coming from, then they are more accepting of you and you're more accepting of them. So yeah, I definitely think it's a place away from home.
For international students to be able to show who they are and where they come from can definitely make them feel more delighted to be overseas.
The University of Nebraska Medical Center's primary care program is now ranked number 4 in the country in the latest ranking of the nation's top graduate programs. This jumped UNMC up 2 spots. Also, the school was able to break into the top 10 schools for their physical assistant program, taking the 9th spot. UNMC Chancellor Dr. Jeffrey Gold is excited to see that both programs are considered some of the top in the country. Westside High School's baseball fields are currently under renovation. With the season underway, the players make do with what they have.
Omaha News reporter Ryan Matheny brings us more on how the team prepares for the season despite practicing inside. For the full story, stay tuned after the break.
Watch ICU Learning English on the Knowledge Network.
KVNO was in a really interesting place. This Victorian mansion near UNO.
3 floors. The studios were on the 3rd floor.
Bedrooms and bathrooms. So we had a challenge, but we ultimately ended up with an on-air studio.
We soundproofed it with carpet, and actually I think it sounded really warm, very radio friendly.
There were also rumors that the 3rd floor was haunted. Those were the maid's chambers, as we were told.
Well, I had a sink in the office and leaded glass windows which looked out on the stable house in the back.
One colleague talking about having the window open one day, a warm spring or fall day, and a squirrel jumping through the window onto a turntable.
It was a great place, a great ambiance for a fine arts station.
It definitely had a charm to it.
But about how you're feeling right now. One thing you would like our viewers to know about this state.
The importance of volunteerism.
What are you saying to folks?
I'm here to discuss these images.
When you can take that knowledge and that expertise and that passion in terms that they're all going to understand.
They need to know the real stories.
I'm Kathy Wyatt. Join us for Consider This each week on NET1.
NET Television expands your mind, enlightens your mind, inspires your mind, educates your mind, entertains your mind. NET Television opens up new worlds to you. Explore, travel, learn, discuss, debate. NET Television keeps you informed. Music, theater, dance, art, news. NET Television awakens your dreams, seeks to serve, strengthens our communities. We are Nebraskans. We are NET Television, Nebraska's PBS station.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Last week, Omaha News reporter Kristen Rogers told us about Austin Ortega. Ortega was tied with 7 others in NCAA history to have 10 game-winning goals in a single season. Last weekend, Ortega scored his 11th game winner at the CenturyLink Center. The Mavericks also secured their home rink as host of the NCHC Conference playoffs. High school baseball teams across Nebraska got their 2015 season underway last week with their first official practices under some excellent weather. Omaha News reporter Ryan Matheny tells us one Omaha team was forced indoors all week by a combination of factors.
The first week of high school baseball practice in Nebraska usually presents a headache for coaches.
Being from Nebraska, it's tough.
Defending Class A state champion Westside not only had to deal with unpredictable weather, but their field is still undergoing some last-minute repairs, forcing Bob Greco's team inside all week.
We can't do live hitting, live pitching, and so we try to get a lot of that in early on so that, it's just a lot to recognize the pitches coming. And it's tough for the pitchers to, just throw bullpens.
Greco says there are just some baseball things you can't replicate while you're inside.
One of the things that you can never do indoors is fly balls, so we at least try to get out there before we make any cuts.
Freshman Dylan Hancock says the wood gym floor provides a unique challenge.
There's no wind or sun or anything like that. It's just like normal, and you also have to get the bounce off the wood. It's not like different hops. It's pretty much like, it's easier, I think.
Even though they might be behind other teams in the state, one thing that will help the Warriors is a talented roster.
Coaches love to take credit for it, but I think number one, you have to have talented kids. I mean, that's where it starts. Beyond that, they have to be willing to work hard. This is a huge commitment.
Even though the season's just in its infancy and the team hasn't even played a game yet, the focus for the Warriors is on one thing: winning a state title.
Our goal is always to win state, no matter if we reach it or not. That's our goal, and that's how we try to practice. That's how we try to carry ourselves. That's everything we do.
For the Omaha News, I'm Ryan Matheny.
Westside does plan on having practice outside all this week now that the field is ready to go. The Warriors will kick off the 2015 season a week from tomorrow at Millard West.
This last weekend, OPD cited over 70 juveniles with minor in possession at a party full of Millard West students. Millard West basketball team will be playing in the state tournament. One of the juveniles cited is on the varsity basketball roster. The team will still be allowed to participate in the tournament, but there have been changes to their roster. After the break, we'll take a look at the art of a local woman and how her work portrays her struggles.
Also, UNO is making changes that will make the campus tobacco-free. And we'll show you one student's response to this. Stay with us.
To go above.
It was something new.
Or reach beyond.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
When you want to peer inside.
There's something wrong here. This isn't normal.
It would seem almost impossible. Or push the limit.
Large tornado! It's humongous! We need to get out now!
When you want to dive deep.
These divers are like astronauts.
Our human nature is to push into places that we don't know about.
Or go to the edge.
There are other worlds out there.
We don't know exactly what we're going to find.
When you want to find new frontiers.
I was truly astonished.
You just don't ever know.
Nova.
Wednesdays on NET1.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is a place for tomorrow's leaders. A place where individuals converge on a path to success, getting the attention and direction they need as they begin their career. It's where students take pride in serving Omaha, a city we've invested in for more than 100 years. UNO is a place where greatness begins. The University of Nebraska at Omaha.
Not many artists would be willing to put a sometimes radical term as the title of their art exhibit. Reporter Emily Master goes in deeper on why one artist called her exhibit, "I Heard She's a Feminist."
Some people have known what they wanted to be ever since they were kids.
Loved art ever since I was a child.
For Courtney Porto, art is not only a profession, but our passion.
I want to work, I want to come in the studio, I do art because I love it.
The Connect Gallery saw this passion and knew they wanted to help show that passion to others.
And we looked at her art carefully and we felt that perhaps she was a growing and emerging young artist we wanted to help.
Porto's exhibit at the Connect Gallery is called I Heard She's a Feminist. Porto chose this title because many people think feminism is something bad, when most don't even know what it means.
People kind of get scared of the term feminist, but I think that's a misunderstanding. I think it's just because they don't really know what people mean by feminist.
This exhibit illuminates the different flaws and hardships that a woman can go through that are sometimes only seen behind closed doors.
It's about things that women can relate to, that I would like to think most women have experienced at some point or another in different ways. And so it's just communicating experiences and thoughts as a woman.
Porto knows that she could receive mixed feelings, but to her, it's about more than just reviews.
It's about the message. It's a really important message that I'm trying to get out there. Or, why are your pieces depressing? It's well, because everyone experiences sad times.
Porto has turned these sad times into something positive. For Omaha News, I'm Emily Masters.
The exhibit is open at the Connect Gallery from now until March 28th. There will be an artist reception on March 20th and a poetry reading on March 13th. For more information on the exhibit, visit the gallery's website at connectgallery.net. This week's UNO's College of Business Administration was named the best school in the country for veterans by the Military Times in 2015. The Military Times looked at 75 schools across the nation that supported military students. This honor followed UNO's overall #1 ranking as a military-friendly school in 2014.
Businesses, offices, restaurants, and even parks have banned smoking over the past 20 years. The University of Nebraska at Omaha may be ready to join the 2-decade trend. Dylan Simpf reports on the recent announcement that UNO is reconsidering its smoking policy.
The Virginia Slims painted on a bench outside the Fine Arts Building at UNO will soon be the only cigarettes to be found on campus. The Chancellor's Cabinet has announced the creation of a task force to discuss the possibility of UNO becoming a smoke-free campus. This happened after presentations were given by committees representing students as well as staff and faculty workers.
We presented each of our resolutions from each of our respective constituencies.
The Student Government, Faculty Senate, and Staff Advisory Committee all had different proposals, and the task force has been made to seek a compromise.
They're varied in the sense of how long the implementation plan would take place.
Members of the committee creating this new policy have not been selected yet, but once created, they'll be drafting the implementation of a smoke-free UNO campus, as well as addressing any other issues that could arise.
Really just kind of comes down to enforcement. It really comes down to enforcement. How are they planning on enforcing, keeping people from smoking on campus? Are people going to give you tickets?
For students curious as to the specifics of this future policy, Faculty President Lisa Shearer wants to ensure them that nothing is set in stone quite yet.
What would be banned, what would not be banned, what are penalties, how it would be implemented, how long it would take to implement. None of these things have been decided.
The task force will be actively exploring options to join Creighton, UNMC, and other universities as a smoke-free campus. For the Omaha News, I'm Dylan Simpf.
The current smoking policy at UNO has not changed. Smoking is still prohibited within 10 feet of all building entrances, as well as indoors and on patios of campus dorms. Remember to watch the Omaha News Extra this week. Every Friday, you can watch Omaha News Extra on our website.
Omaha News Extra will feature additional stories and coverage of Omaha and Nebraska. You can catch it on our website, theomahanews.com.
This week's stories will include a look into the new hockey arena being built.
For all of us at the Omaha News, good night.
UNO Television gives students a chance to work in a real studio. Working on the TV crew, students get hands-on experience with lights, camera, and action. Working on a variety of shows gives students a leg up looking for jobs. In fact, many former crew members work at local stations. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for students to learn the science and art of TV production. UNO TV, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
When will you look deep into space? When will you travel back in time? When will you experience the power of red? When? Anytime. Online at video.netnebraska.org. Search, select, and share with the NET Video Player. Watch our shows on your schedule.
Watch the Omaha News Wednesdays at 4 p.m. on the Knowledge Network.